Well, hello, happy Thursday. Welcome to Elegant Sentiments today. I'm Sheryl Abernathy, the owner of Elegant Sentiments, and this is our weekly card share number 71. So thank you for being here. If you're watching with me live, thank you for joining. And if you watch the replay, thank you for watching. So today I'm using some Spellbinders products and some Simon Hurley products. This is actually the the live that almost wasn't. I completely forgot, and I was just moving through my day, and around 5:30 I realized that I don't have a card for my live. So this one is really a quick and easy card that you can make in under 40 minutes. So this the first product I'm using is the Circle Illusion 3D embossing folder by Spellbinders. And then I'm also using from Simon Hurley his beautiful blooms stamp set, and I'm going to use this it looks like a dahlia. I'm not really sure, but I thought that, excuse me, I thought that flower was really pretty, so I'm going to use that. And then it has coordinating dies, and I'm just using the die that goes with that floral. And then I use cutting dies instead of stamping my sentiments. So I use the happy birthday, and I've already cut that out. I used some black and white cardstock. I have the black as the shadow and the white as the sentiment. So those are the products that I'm using. And to get started, I will bring in my Misty, and we'll go ahead and stamp the flower. And let's see here. Here we go. All right, so I've got the flower still on my Misty from earlier, and I'll just put a piece of cardstock in here. Let's see, anywhere will do, so because we're going to die cut it out. So I'll go ahead and ink that up. I'm using some Altenew black pigment ink for this one, and just ink that up really good. And my stamp has a little bit of a dip in it, so I'm probably going to have to ink it a couple of times, or at least press it a couple times. And I'll put that down, and then try and get all that ink onto the paper. It's a spot right in this area that it had trouble getting that ink off, so hopefully I've got most of it off. We'll see here. Yep, there's still that one little spot right there. Hopefully I pressed down hard enough to get that. Yeah, we did pretty good. So we'll go ahead and take this out, and we'll die cut it. And I'll use my put this out of the way. I'll get the die from the coordinating die set for the beautiful blooms and die cut that. Oh, I didn't even show you the product, the final project. Here's the final project. So this is the final project. Really quick and easy, and with all those sentiments, you got lots of choices for your sentiment, but that is the project, the final. So we'll go ahead and keep moving. Get this die out of here. Okay, and then just put that down. And get my tape and put a couple pieces of tape on here to keep me from cutting where I don't want to. Okay, and I'm just going to run this through my embossing machine, die cut and embossing machine here. And I'll be right back in frame in just a second. Okay. Go ahead and pop that out and put this over to the side so I don't lose it. Then I'm going to bring in, I'm going to use a different color. I'm going to try this Coral Waters by Lisa Horton for my background. We'll leave that off to the side. And I'm just going to ink up a panel. This is 4 and a quarter by 5.5. And this one is really juicy, so it might not be the best choice, but we'll see how we do. Well, it's not too terribly bad. We'll see. But I just want to kind of go around the edges of this. And this is one of her color shift inks. And this one really does better when you have the full, if you're doing heavy solid colors, because you can really see those that shimmer in the ink. But I like this color, so I wanted to try it and see how it might work out. And we'll just keep adding ink going around until I get the color filled in the way I like it, and then just add each. Oops. Well, that's a little deeper than I wanted, so guess what? We're going to go deeper. How about that? Hope you're having a good week and a better day than my day's been. It's been a really, really crazy day today, but it's a good day nonetheless. I won't complain. So I'm just going around inking this up, kind of leaving the center a little white, just to kind of highlight the flower a little bit. And just kind of keep going till I get the color looking like I want to. It doesn't have to be perfectly smooth, but just getting it the way I like it. Trying to keep my fingers out of the way too, because I'm really bad about inking up my fingers, and then I ink up my project and have to start over. I've done that more times than I want to think about. It is still boiling hot for me here in Central Ohio today on July 3rd. I like it a lot cooler than it has been, but at least it's not raining, so that's a good thing, I guess. Try not to complain too much, because I'd rather have too hot than too cold. If I had to choose between the two, that would be my choice. So I'm continuing around in this, what did I say this color is? I completely forgot. Coral Waters. I know it was some kind of water. Coral Waters. And of course, you can use any colors to do this card. And like I said, this is really a make it in 30 minutes or less kind of card. That's literally all I had. I had an hour actually, but then I needed to do all of the background stuff I needed to do to get ready to go live. So this is a nice, easy design that you can use any embossing folder to achieve this look. If your embossing folder has a repeating pattern that you can put the dots in, or even if you don't have a repeating pattern, you can ignore the dots and just do the flower. So let's see. I think that looks pretty decent. So we'll go with that. And then get that out of the way because we're done with that. And then I'm going to bring in the Circle Illusions 3D embossing folder, if I can find where I put it. I'll tell you, my superpower really is losing stuff when I haven't moved. This is unreal. Here it is. Okay. I found it. So we'll go ahead and put this into our embossing folder. And just really, there's no real lining up you have to do. You just kind of want to make sure you've got even spacing on it. And we will run this through our die cut and embossing folder. Change my plates out here and get my embossing folder plate. My shim. And I'll run this through. Okay. So we've got that. Put these plates back in. And there we have our nice 3D embossing. And then the next thing I want to do is go ahead and add my flower to this. So I want to use some foam tape, or I guess foam squares. I'm not using the tape, but I could, and just put some foam squares behind my flower to give it a little more dimension. And I'm always extra generous with my flowers. And then I'm going to cut a couple of these to get the tips of the flower. I'm not too worried about the stem, but I'll put a little piece down there just in case. And then I'll put a little piece on the two little leaf pieces that are hanging out down here. And I still managed to get ink on my fingers. I don't know how I did that, but I did it. I'm very good like that. Okay. Are you on there? Nope, you are not. You're upside down. That's half the problem. Okay, now I'll put this little piece here. And we'll just take these off. And we'll center this onto, you know what? Before I do that, actually, I want to put this on my card base. So let me get my glue. And then I won't have to worry about trying to add this later. I'm going to use glue for this. There are some good flat parts on the back of this, but just want, oops, got glue on that. Don't want glue there. I just want to make sure that for these parts that are sunken down, that I've got some good adhesion there. So I think I got it everywhere pretty much. And I'll go ahead and stick this to our card base. It looks like I might have to trim my base just a wee bit. That's okay. We can do that with some scissors. And I'll take my foam folder and make sure I've got nice contact there. Got a piece of glue on there. Okay. Then let me go ahead and trim this up with my scissors. It's just a little bit, but I don't want that hanging out on the sides and up at the top. I don't know if I mismeasured my card base or the panel, but they're not lining up, so we can fix that quickly. Okay. All right, so now I'll go ahead and add this to my card front. And let's see here. I guess I'm still going. I just can't see myself on my laptop. Okay, yep, good. I'm glad I didn't lose my video. I just lost my visual on my laptop screen. Okay. And there's one more. One here. Oh, two more. Okay, so we have all those off. We just want to sit that in the center and angle it a little bit. Okay. And then we can put on our sentiment as soon as I find where they went. Now that I really think I did lose because I had those inside my card. So guess who's going to be making sentiments again? So let me get some black paper and some white paper, and I'll cut out those sentiments. I used happy birthday, and I think I'll stick with that because I always need birthday cards. So here is, I wonder where those fell off at, because I had them right inside that card base. No, oh, you know what? Here they are. Aha, I found them. When I picked up that card base. There. Okay. So we don't need to do that. I told you my special powers are awesome. I have the best ability to lose stuff. So we'll go ahead and put that on. Make sure that's straight before I push it down for too long. It's pretty good. And then I'll do my birthday, adding a little glue to the back here. And when you do this birthday, the one thing that I did not pay attention to when I cut the other one for my sample is that little dot on the eye. When you die cut that, don't lose that little dot, or you'll have to put a gem or in my case, I put some stickles on there. So we'll hold this down for a few seconds to let it adhere. Okay, and then I'll take some stickles. I've got silver, and I tried a couple of the other ones. I started with diamond stickles, and I just it didn't pop enough. I really wanted to have the centers of these the flowers that are in the circles. They're not really circles, it's just an illusion, but I wanted that little dot that I put to really show. And the diamonds were just a little bit too light, and I wanted a nice bright look. And I do this after one because it's the last thing to do when you really have to let these stickles dry, because they take a little bit to dry. But also because you won't have to put this on every flower depending upon where you have your sentiment. So that's why I put the sentiments down first. Let's see. Yep, that's one. I'm just going around with the stickles and filling in. Oops. That's the other thing you have to do. You have to watch your fingers, because you'll smudge it just like I did with this one. Okay, I think I got them all. And then I put a big circle in the center of the flower. And let me make sure I didn't miss any flowers. Oh, I did. This one right here. Oops, there's one more. Okay, so there you go. That is today's super simple project using Simon Hurley products and products from, oops, nope, we are not done. We have one more thing to do. I want to put a ribbon on the flower. Almost done. I was getting excited, getting ahead of myself. So, oh, I didn't need a piece that big, nearly that big at all. But we'll just make a little ribbon, a little bow, using, this is some ribbon from Stampin' Up. I forgot what it's called, but it is Stampin' Up ribbon. It's a corded ribbon, which is really nice for this kind of bow when you don't want it really big, and you can manipulate it easily to be the size that you want. And I like that it has a little curl to it, or you can curl it yourself if it's not far enough down on the roll. But just play with it until you get the bow about the size that you want. That looks about right. One more pinch ought to do it. And then I'll just cut some off, make it longer than I want it, and then I can trim it a little bit more if I want to. So I'm just going to put this right here on the stem of the flower. Just put a dot of glue, or you can use a glue dot. But for the corded ribbon, I like using the glue because it'll get down into the cord and keep it from unraveling. So I just put it on there and hold it for a little bit till it grabs. And then I will trim the cord whatever length I want. And I want this to come down this way a little more. So let's get you going that way. Oh boy, I just pulled it right off. Let me put another bit of glue on there just in case. I try not to move that when I cut, but sometimes, now what I'm going to do is There we go. I'll keep holding that for another minute while I clear off my desk. And now we're done. So there we go. We have our super simple. Yeah, make sure that's dry. Yeah. Our super simple happy birthday card using Simon Hurley Spellbinders and Link Ink by Lisa Horton's Crafts. So thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you have a fantastic week and a wonderful holiday. And I will be back next Thursday with another card to share. And hopefully I will get more time in my craft room because I want to try some fun folds. So we'll see. We keep trying until we get there. But thank you so much for joining. I hope that you have a wonderful week. Find some time to craft a little kindness yourself and be sure to live graciously, and we'll see you till next time. See you for next time. Bye for now.